Hi, Thomas. Thank you for joining us today. At first, could you please tell us about your role at Premium Plus and what your experience is of working with Ultimate?
Yeah, so Thomas, I'm CTO at Premium Plus. That means I lead our development integration teams when anything technical comes up. Premium Plus is a Zendesk partner based in Europe. So basically we assist customers with doing custom help centers, bots, and anything that basically helps them offering a good self-service approach to their customers. We've been working with Ultimate for a few years now. Main reason is we were looking for a way to have more specific custom flows for our customers, more complex flows, which aren't handled by like the tools we offer normally. And we also needed a way to detect gaps in the customer's knowledge base and do good intent mapping so we could like offer them even better self-service approaches. And that's where Ultimate came in for us.
All right, sounds great. And for the next question, can you tell us what impact has generative AI had on customer experiences over past 12 months?
Yeah, basically might feel like a default answer, but basically we saw an impact on three big areas. So one is for the customer, for agents, and then basically the company as a whole. For customers, for me, like the big change we saw is that before they used to go search for like something that might help them with their problem. Now they can basically ask a question and the answer is given to them. So instead of like them navigating the way a company tries to help them, it's now more like I can do X and then the AI will make sure that the right content comes to them. So that's like a big shift we see for our customers. For agents, basically there is a dual improvement. So one is like the one where they get a big assist in writing answers. So they can jot down a few keywords and then AI will assist them with like expanding that into like a nicer answer. But the bigger impact for agents is that with automated intent mapping, sentiment mapping, and all those like context-driven things that are done for them, the job is more about answering questions and helping customers and having like that human touch. And it's not about like the repetitive reporting fields and all that kind of stuff. So it's more about really they can dive into the ticket, the answers, the problems, and then the AI will take care of all the repetitive tasks. And then finally, for companies as a whole, so bigger than just agents and customer care, the nice thing is that we can now get faster insights in like the data. So we can detect what customers are asking questions about. We can automate more processes, which will like either lower like workloads or will also give room for people to like I mentioned earlier, like agents focus on like doing the real job instead of automated stuff. And that in the end, well, hopefully gives like better employee experiences, higher CSATs. So that's the impacts that we are seeing quite drastically.
And in what ways do you think the synergy between generative AI and existing customer service automation technology is revolutionizing the support automation space?
Yeah, so it's always been that self-service was about, well, offering answers to customers in an automated way. So your agent needed to do the repetitive task of giving the same answer 10 times a day. That used to be done, well, like you also know, with classic bots, with structured flows where you guide the customer to a specific answer. Now with generative AI, what we notice is that instead of writing purposeful flows to answer a specific scenario or rewriting content 3 times for like a social answer, an email answer, or like a chat-based answer, the nice thing with generative AI now is that you kind of need to write the content once. So these are like the bullet points, your classic turn it on and off again kind of scenario. Then we have intent mapping, which is the nice thing is where we used to go entire flow, like, do we have a problem with X? Yes or no? Do we have a problem with this? And then you guide them towards like the right article. Now, basically, the customer asks a question and we know which pieces of content that we've written can answer that question. And instead of, like I mentioned, rewriting that content for all the different scenarios, the AI just takes the pieces that are important, turns that in an answer and gives that to the customer. So you're still in control of like content you give to the customer, like this is the answer we want them to read. But instead of manually building flows for each unique scenario or writing content for each unique scenario, that's all automated now. So you can focus more on the quality of the content and less on all those different scenarios. I see that like the biggest change that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, that sounds great. And how do you see agent roles evolving thanks to this hybrid generative AI conversation design approach to automation? And I mean like a combination of fully generated responses and scripted dialogue flows.
Yeah, so purpose of like having automation in your self-service is to take away work from your agents. The idea is that the more we can deflect, meaning someone else solves the question, it's not an agent, the more time they can spend on the actual difficult issues or the ones where you need a human touch. And what we're starting to see now is that you see their role being changed in two ways. So one, there are even less tickets that arrive on their desk, which is good for like workload. They have, not less work, but like it's more quality work. They can play with human touch. They can build relationships with customers. They can really dive into an issue without affecting like the reply time of all the other tickets still in the queue, because there is hopefully less tickets in the queue. So they can like go from here's a queue of tickets and do them one by one, X. They can really dive into an issue, give that human touch, and really like solve something for one of the customers. So their role is more changing to handling more complex. They can dive deeper. They can hopefully become experts in an issue because the bot handles the generic stuff. So that's one way, like become more like a professional owner of the queue. The second thing we're seeing is, automation and bots is still driven by, like I mentioned earlier, content. You need an answer written somewhere before the bot can help it. So we're also seeing a lot of agents moving to more a role of writing content or having the experience they get with tickets and turning that into even more help center articles, or changing the way something is phrased or nuances in help center articles. And they become more like content managers than they become like problem solvers. And that's like two ways where we see that their quality of work is majorly improved, because they don't need to do repetitive stuff anymore. They can either focus on showing their expertise or sharing their expertise. So that's the way we see that, or that I see that helping them.
Yes, and I think it's also great for their career growth, right? Yeah, this is a great advice, and thank you for joining us today, and thank you for sharing your experience with us, and hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, thanks.